So people actually want to vote for somebody who once thought you could get rid of COVID by injecting Clorox and recently stated that he would allow Putin controlling Russia. Okay, let's not make the mistake about what he said. He would allow Vladimir Putin to invade NATO countries that didn't pay enough. So I'm looking at my backyard and I'm thinking, people would vote for a guy who's a fascist from the Howard Stern show that used to boast about being a male chauvinist pig, would allow Russia to invade NATO countries. Now, NATO is what prevents other countries from attacking us in our backyard, because if one NATO country is attacked, all NATO countries, like an umbrella, attack the other one that's fucking up. So the stupidest possible thing you could fucking say came out of the words of Donald Trump the other day. And yet people would still vote for someone who brags about grabbing him by the pussy because he's a celebrity and he thinks it's okay to do that and get away with it. Mind you, just got sued and convicted for sexual assault and now has to pay, I don't know, $350 something million. Now, Trump pleaded guilty. I mean, you know, he encouraged people to march upon the Capitol and insisted that he had won, which is a blatant lie, and encouraged people to perform acts that are just not anything other than reminiscent than an insurrection, especially when a Capitol police officer is killed defending the White House. Numerous people are hurt and injured and killed, and someone is parading a Confederate flag through the White House. And then he's standing there on a podium telling people, yeah, it's your time to fight, and you know, it was rigged, and you know, some kind of false fake shit. I mean, you can't tell me that he did not encourage that. And he certainly didn't discourage it, not for several hours. And you know, he has managed to trick people to the point where he got them to lend him money to build shit, and then basically has promised really, honestly, very wealthy people whose money resides in the fossil fuel industry and shady real estate enterprises throughout the world. He's convinced them that if he's elected president, he'll benefit, and he obviously wants to get some of the money from Putin by doing business with Russia and doing favors for the Russians. Obvious, and could care less about our environment, pollution, human rights, and he's the definition of fascism. That's how you run a corporation, a company, and it really bothers when people say, "Oh, America's a business." No, it's a country. It is a government that governs its businesses. Okay, you can't have a fair business without a government. You can have capitalism without checks and balances. It just doesn't work that way. And our checks and balances have favored so well into the hands of the wealthy who make money off the peons, the rest of us who they think are idiots because we're not business savvy or successful. They seem to favor electing Republicans because they don't tax the rich. They bullshit people with their trickle-down economic theory. They say that they're philanthropists. They're a bunch of fucking greedy, selfish, smart business people who could care less about art, science, music, and nature, and more about getting wealthier and wealthier while the rest of us struggle. And they do very little to sort of change the fundamental economic socio-structure of our world, which is essentially and inherently un-American. You know, liberty and justice for all, not just the chosen few who are wealthy. Liberty and justice for all. Liberty economically, liberty by being healthy, liberty spiritually, and to have a sanctity, a peaceful earth that we all share, that's all connected. We all breathe the same air. Okay, we don't all sit on golden plated toilets with mail order brides bragging about how it brings him pleasure to grab women by the pussy he doesn't know, non-consensually, because he's a celebrity. And he makes fun of people with disabilities. I find that disgusting. How anybody would admire someone like Trump. I find that disgusting. Oh, he's a gangster. That guy's a fucking pussy. And I sure as shit hope to God, I sure as shit pray that he does not become the president of this country, of this great USA. That would be the worst thing that I could imagine happening to this country in the near future. It would, let's face it, he dismantled the Obama administration's and World Health Organization's system in place to contain the coronavirus that was being spread in other countries in the world, and just let people come right over here and bring it over here. I think people forget that the Black Lives Matter movement was about people being fed up by police brutality and a sense of over-policing. And it was also a protest against Trump. Our country was not doing good under Trump. It was not happy, okay? Oh, my business made a lot of money in those 4 years. Yeah, oh, okay. Your small business made a little money because you got some incentives and some tax breaks, and that's it. And people got a check for $1,200. I can't stress enough how blind and ignorant people could be. The Republicans just banned a woman's right to choose what to do with her body, what to do with the embryos in her womb. That's someone's personal flesh and body. That's their decision to do what they want. And now people can be charged with murder for disposing of an embryonic fetus for having an abortion. That causes people to fear for their lives and leave the states, and that's dividing people down south along these right-wing conservative party lines. If you don't support abortion, don't have one. If you think it's wrong, don't get pregnant, and don't put yourself in that situation. But if somebody is raped and you're going to tell them they don't have a right to have an abortion, are you fucking kidding me? These are the same kind of laws that banned marijuana. These are the same kind of laws that allow us to have a drug problem throughout the world that's prevalent, and not treat addiction as some type of disease, but rather as a crime and as a business, and not give people the freedom and liberty to make an educated choice about what they put in their body. I'm sure if people can choose whatever they wanted to, and didn't have to have some kind of stigma surrounding medications, they wouldn't become addicted to some of these really horrible drugs out there, specifically opiates and the rest of those pharmaceutical drugs. And this is the same country that once banned alcohol because people don't know how to act here. I love my country, but man, it's the highest population, mass incarceration, highest population of people in prison than any place in the world. The most concentration of people who just don't know how to act, people unhappy, and then people who are happy and rich, Being an American it's not like being a citizen of another country. It's our duty to speak up as Americans. If we don't like some shit, hey, we better fucking say something. Hey, I don't like it that these rich folks, not for nothing, man, I do respect Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, and Larry Ellison, all these other bazillionaires, you know. But come on, folks, you have way too much money. You can put 10, 20 billion each of your money and put it somewhere and really make a difference and alter our social economic structure by passing legislation. None of these people are coming together to do that because we're all still here putting gas in our car, making Putin richer, making the Chinese richer, buying their shit, making Republicans with their businesses richer, while everyone else is struggling, working to pay for shit they can't even afford. You know, and there's AI out there that could replace most of the jobs out there in a second and revolutionize our medicine industry, but we're focused on killing one another. And that's my political rant for today. And fuck Russia and fuck Putin too, you know. Fucking, you know, good. And the Chinese too. You guys, these they're like, oh yeah, no, that's all propaganda. No, there's no free speech in that country. You cannot say what I just said in Russia or China. Period. You can't have a political opinion about shit. And if Trump was elected president, your free speech would be thrown out the fucking window. That's the first fucking thing that they tried to go after was free speech. Because, oh, I didn't like what people said about me on Facebook, you know. And then, you know, you can't just keep saying fake shit, misinformation to people. And it's not dissent. It's disinformation. That's not. It's dissent is actual treason, and it's actually. You know, going against our core values, and they'll be like, oh, they're saying that there's a campaign of misinformation. Yeah, there is a campaign of misinformation. It's exactly what the fucking Nazis did, and that's exactly what the Republicans are doing. They keep saying bullshit to people enough, keep denying science long enough, and they'll believe it. You keep it, you know, holding up your fucking stupid ass signs and shit. My gosh, you know, they're exercising their free speech and outing themselves, which is such a beautiful the chemistry that's built into the Constitution, such a brilliant design that they're also outing themselves as straight assholes. That's what I love about free speech. It gives the asshole to get on their soapbox. Hey, I'm a fucking asshole. Guess what? I'm gonna vote for fucking Trump. You know, these people, they'll be like holding up their Trump signs. I am not gonna vote for Trump, and I never would. I can't understand how anybody would vote for Trump. I really don't. I can understand how somebody can be ignorant and part of the hate group and the little mafia clique shit, and why they would, you know, be brainwashed into thinking that's the best way to run the country. You know, you get a businessman in there, you know. I mean, no, dude, no, not that guy, not that guy. What a mess! What a mess! And to think that Russia is still pummeling Ukraine, and that's all you see on TV, and then Israel and Gaza. I mean, it's just and Iran, and I mean, it's just it goes on and on and on. The world just is stuck on a stupidity, and it needs to stop. It's affecting our evolution as a species. We could be doing so much better, and not having to struggle to afford food and shelter. Are we still that, you know, primitive that we have to struggle to afford our food and shelter, to afford a car, to afford to just survive? You know, that's what I find. You know, there's a disappointment, and I saw it. I saw a disappointment when I in the faces of my parents when they had to struggle financially. That was not what life should be about. It's too short. So I saw a look of disappointment on a lot of people's faces throughout my life who've had to really struggle, and I've also seen a real lack of empathy in those who don't know what it's like to struggle and can't possibly relate towards the suffering of others. Thank you kindly for your support.